Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video in which I'm going to show you in detail the complete guide for the Systeme.io platform. Perhaps you already have an account, or you don't yet know if you should or shouldn't get one, because you're unsure if this platform is truly made for you. There are so many things that can be done on this platform, and you wonder, is it truly real, or are some things completely bogus and serve no purpose, especially considering the almost free price. You can even have a free account offered by Systeme.io. First, I'll give you a complete tour of the platform. That way you can decide for yourselves if you want to continue or get a Systeme.io account. And if you do decide to get a Systeme.io account, I've included a bonus for you. There's a link in the description. I'll let you discover it for yourselves if you're interested. So, without further delay, once you are on the Systeme.io platform and you have registered, once you've set up your account, you will arrive on your dashboard. Here, we are on a sub-account dashboard. You can create various sub-accounts no matter which plan you choose. So here, we're on one of my various sub-accounts. And in the end, they're almost all alike. It's just there are a few small bits of info. I'll show you. If we're on my main account, the only difference is that on the dashboard, so the dashboard up here, you'll be able to see your affiliate dashboard and your student dashboard. The affiliate dashboard is simply the dashboard. If you're doing affiliate marketing. For example, Systeme.io has an affiliate program and it pays you 60% commission on all sales, on all subscriptions that people sign up for through your affiliate link. So, you can manage your affiliate program directly from your main account. And also, there's the student dashboard. This is for when you've either purchased or been granted access to training courses, and these courses are hosted on the Systeme.io platform, provided you're using the same email address. In that specific case, you will then have access to the various courses you might have purchased or any free courses that you have access to. So, to make sure we don't get lost and to proceed in a clear, organized manner, I'm going to show you, module by module, everything that you will find within Systeme.io. When you are on your main dashboard, you will see here on the left a dashboard that will display for you all the contacts that you have generated over the last 30 or 31 days. He will show you if there's an evolution, if there's stagnation, if there haven't been any registrants. These are all the people who have signed up, new people, not people who are already on your list, but people who have just signed up for your list. And you will have access to the volume here. And on this particular account, I don't make any sales at all because it's a sub account, but on the dashboard right here, just to your right, you will also find, if you happen to make any sales, you will have the full summary of your sales, how much revenue you've generated, the sales volume you've achieved over the last 31 days. And it will be displayed here exactly in the same way that you actually see the registered members displayed, except that it will be in the currency, the specific currency in which you invoice your digital products. You can decide if you click here on this small calendar to choose the period for which the information will be shown. It can be from the start. You can click on apply and see all the people who have registered. You can also, if you'd like to, select the last month or perhaps several months or simply just rotate it. My apologies, we'll proceed this way instead by rotating it to pinpoint a very particular time frame within a specified duration. And on the right, you will have the people who are signing up for your list and the sales that you are making. All of that you will see it displayed directly here. If you look up, you have... No, let's do this differently. If you look down to the bottom right, you'll find a small tab there. This is a brand new feature. Of course, AI is now invading us from every single direction. So Systeme.io has implemented a small assistant, a plugin with an AI-generated assistant. You'll be able to ask you questions, and it will direct you to the right resource. Also on my channel, I have a ton of tutorials that show you step by step how to, well, create and operate, set up and operate your Systeme.io account. You can either watch right here, or you can go to the channel to check out all the various tutorials that I've already uploaded there. Then at the very top of the screen, you'll find a tab for the dashboard. And within this dashboard tab, as I was mentioning to you, you'll see right now I'm on a sub account, so you have the dashboard. But if I'm on my main account, you'll see that I actually have the dashboard. And then, well, I have access to the affiliate dashboard and access to the student dashboard. If I'm on the affiliate dashboard, I'll see here, well, the income that's been generated through affiliation. I'm able to select the specific period, and I can also choose the currency if I have affiliate commissions that are paid in different currencies like euros, dollars, Brazilian reals, and so on. I can also choose to sort in fact commission payments by tag. I can create tags within my affiliate URLs that I post on social media to generate affiliate commissions. And then I can decide to categorize them by tag to find the right people. If we look here on the right, we can see, well, the earnings I've been able to receive, the amount that was collected, the amounts that have been paid, and what is still pending payment for the given period. I can retrieve my affiliate link right here, which I will then share where it's appropriate, where it makes sense, to then earn affiliate commissions if people sign up for a paid Systeme.io account by using my affiliate link. And down below, I'll see the different invoices. That's what Systeme.io paid me for the affiliation I was able to generate. Then right next to it on the right, we'll do things differently. We'll go to your profile photo, and on your profile photo you'll actually see that a sub menu will appear. So you'll be able to create sub accounts, otherwise you'll be able to adjust the various settings for your Systeme.io account. I'm going to click on it, and when I click on it, we'll see that the first thing on the menu to the left is my profile. This is where you're going to, well, create a name. For me, it's a sub-account name. That's why I simply gave it that particular name, because I maintain several sub-accounts in various languages, depending on the specific content I produce and the different offers I provide. And so I have here the profile in French. If I click on accounts, we'll see exactly, well, the time zone this account is currently set to. That might seem trivial, but it's super important. If, for example, like me, it's the case for some of the offers here where I do affiliate marketing. I do affiliate marketing in several languages, and so, well, it's interesting to set it to the correct time zone for the right language, so to speak, because when Systeme.io sends automated emails and I say, well, send this email, for example, at 9 in the morning, I want to be sure it sends it at 9 in the morning. Of the time zone, of the language I'm speaking, of the country in fact, where I express myself that I'm targeting, and not at 9 o'clock in the morning, based on my own personal time slot, knowing that it's probably not necessarily the same as the people who are meant to sign up for this website, for this list, or for the offers that I might have. Okay, so you're going to set the format, the time, and most importantly, the time zone. Next, the Systeme.io plan, that's the plan you're currently on. Here you can see there are several Systeme.io plans available. This one at present is on the unlimited plan, but depending on your needs, your capabilities, the necessity of your business, and where it is in its evolution, well, you'll choose the plan that's most suitable. And if you'd like to get bonuses, if you want to purchase a paid plan, or if you already have a paid plan but don't want to move to the next tier and still wish to receive bonuses, I've provided a link with many bonuses inside. Feel free to check it out, it's in the description. Payment gateway, that's where you've connected your various accounts to receive payments. You can connect your Stripe, PayPal, Mercado Pago, Razorpay, and so on. Perhaps you don't need to connect all of them. The most used, it could be Stripe, it could be PayPal, depending on where you're located as well. You have to use the ones available to you. Connecting them is very, very simple. I have many tutorials on the channel that show you how to connect an account. All you have to do is click the connect button, follow the instructions, and it usually takes just a few minutes. Next, manage my subscriptions. If you've ever subscribed or bought offers from people on Systeme.io using your email address, this is where you'll actually see the offers you've subscribed to. Let's say you have someone selling you a service perhaps, and it's a recurring payment, either monthly or annually, and you've utilized your Systeme.io account where the offer is hosted on Systeme.io. This is where you will see the items you are subscribed to. You'll be able to, well, easily unsubscribe, to change the what you call it, the billing information, etc. directly from this location. In the email tab, right below, you're going to set up, well, your professional email address. This is very important. If you intend to use Systeme.io to sell digital products, you will need a custom domain name. I have a tutorial on the channel showing you how to do that, and you'll also need a professional email address to send emails through it. And so, this is where you're going to set it up. I've also provided a tutorial that shows you precisely how to do it. It's quite simple. It's You just need to follow step by step, and you'll then be able to retrieve, well, there you have your domain name, the email address in question, the subdomain, the domain, all of that. This is where you'll do it. And you'll be able to configure the sender settings from which email address the emails will be sent. If there's a test email address, if you want to set up a double opt-in. A double opt-in, quite simply, is when someone registers on one of your forms or one of your pages, and instead of going directly into your email list, they must first click on a link in their email to ensure that it is a valid email address. You can set it up here and configure it directly here. A feature that's interesting and didn't exist at the very beginning, and that I think had to be done manually, and that I find quite interesting if we stay in email marketing without going too much into detail. What will actually allow you to have a good open rate, that's it ultimately. It's how many doors you're going to knock on and how many doors will open when you knock on the door actually. And for your message to truly reach the hands of your targeted audience, the people who are on your email list and actually open your emails, it's absolutely essential that your messages land in their primary inbox, that they don't end up in spam folders, and that they don't simply bounce back. This means they must be sent to a valid email address. And so, one of the main criteria is to maintain a clean email list, so to speak. And by clean, that means there's no point sending emails to people who have chosen to unsubscribe, or to people who don't open your emails. So right here, you can automatically clean your email list, and that's really interesting because you'll be able to set criteria and say, well, every week, for example, I want you to delete, to unsubscribe all the people who haven't opened an email in the last 8 weeks, 3 first weeks, etc. And for that, you will choose your own specific criteria and what allows you to maintain a clean email list. And by doing it in this particular way, well, that will certainly help. It will contribute. It won't do all of the work, but it will definitely contribute to achieving a good open rate, a strong reputation for your domain name, and a good open rate on the emails that you send out. Also here, you can configure the footer for the emails you send. This is a global setting that will be applied to all emails you send. If you wish to include your affiliate link, or if you want to display a button for people to unsubscribe. Here, you have the button that will appear automatically. And if you click this option, it will actually display the unsubscribe link for the campaign. Because we can differentiate between a newsletter and a campaign, I'll show you right after. But if someone is in a campaign, they can only unsubscribe from that campaign and not entirely from your email list. And you can decide it by checking here. You can add more text. You can also select, if I select a domain name right here, and I can choose to insert text into the footer, put in code, customize everything within right here. Okay, I'm not doing it. Then, if we go to the training tab here, you'll see just some settings to save student activity. This allows you to download to say, well, for example, you can export. I know that a specific student opened the course on a certain day at a certain time and clicked on a particular item, etc. And you can choose to disable the downloading of files, meaning in your member area where you might have audios or videos, you can actually protect this information by simply clicking. And that allows people who have access to a member area not to be able to download certain resources. In the payment settings, right here, you'll be able to set up, well, your general terms and conditions of sale. You'll then be able to make them available for display on your page, your dedicated payment page. You'll also go and adjust here the settings for your receipts. Do you wish to send the purchase invoice under your own name? Do you not wish to send a receipt to your client when they make a purchase as a business? You will then set whether or not you charge VAT, you will check or uncheck the box, and you will adjust the various parameters, choose the default currency you use, and when you grant access in the context of a subscription. Is it that, for example, if you make a subscription payment or an installment payment, does he receive it at the end of his subscription, or does he get it from the very first payment? Does he have access that after the order is created? For example, he places his order, he has 7 trial days, does he already have access, or do you grant him access after that period? Okay, then if we click on the sales funnel tab here, you will simply enter the code. If you're doing tracking, which is highly recommended, it's always good to track the traffic source where the traffic comes from. Perhaps, even if you're not running ads today, but maybe in the near future, or a bit further down the road, you will be doing paid advertising, and it's always smart to install the various tracking pixels. Because even if you're not advertising right now, perhaps you'll do so at the end of the year or in a few months, and in fact, your pixel will already be collecting valuable information which will feed it. And when you launch paid advertisements, you'll already have data that can be utilized by the various advertising platforms to improve the targeting of your different ads. So this is where you'll retrieve the codes, generally the pixels that you'll copy and paste in, and you'll always be able to, it's very important not to forget to save. Delivery settings. Me personally, I've never used Systeme.io to handle the delivery of physical items. So you can activate various delivery settings. You can also create a delivery service. That particular feature I've never actually used, so I would need to investigate how exactly it functions. But you know, it's just something that I've personally never put into practice. Following that, there's the affiliation program. This is relevant if you yourself happen to have an affiliation account. For example, you have you have offers and you want to use affiliate marketing to promote your various offers. And so in that case, you'd set up rules that say, well, for instance, I'll pay 40% commission on everything you sell, so on all my offers, I'll give 40% commission to affiliates. Is there a second degree involved or not? Does that mean that if affiliate number 1 sells and affiliate number 2 sells, will affiliate number 1 receive a commission or not? So on different levels, on 2 levels. Here, you can decide on a minimum amount, meaning you only pay your affiliates once they've earned at least 30, 100 or even €1. You can also choose not to set any minimum, and you'll be able to establish a default payment period for commissions. This means that if someone sells one of your products and they're an affiliate, you'll pay them 40%. They need to have earned at least €30 to receive the money they've gained, that they've generated. You have to wait a minimum of 30 days before you can get paid. That's for affiliation, because if you have PDDs, legal refund periods, trial periods and so on. It's always good to include that. And you can add your vendor's name, that's your company's name or your entity's name for this. You can manage your various affiliate links here, and you can create your different links directly here. Next, a custom domain. Again, it's very important to have a professional domain, to register it, to have a domain that's yours, to register it in Systeme.io and use it for your funnels. If you go to the different social media sites, for example, I don't know, Insta, Facebook, whatever, you cannot share a link with a subdomain that belongs to Systeme.io. Social media platforms, they hate that. Emails, they hate that. It has to be verifiable, it has to be your own domain name, because at the same time, there are there are also codes to integrate within it to ensure that your domain name is properly verified, that it's secure, that it's not someone who's spamming or malicious. So it's also a way to protect users. API keys, I won't go into too much detail on that, because it might not necessarily be accessible to everyone, but essentially, it's a method. These are lines of code that enable various tools to communicate amongst themselves. And if you have tools that don't exist, yes, we'll go to the integrations tab. They don't integrate directly, but they do have API capabilities. You can create an API key and then ensure that the tool, which may not have direct integration with Systeme.io, can still communicate with Systeme.io depending on what you want it to do. Webhooks, it's webhooks actually, it's like, well, it's when you're going to trigger an action that will occur, if we look here, your application's receiving events exactly in real time. So basically it means you have an action happening in your email list. Let's say someone signs up for their list, for your email list, and you need to trigger an action in another software somewhere else. You'll be able to, well, precisely register webhooks, create a webhook, which means that when a contact signs up somewhere automatically, there will be a chain action instantaneously in another tool, another software that perhaps doesn't have an integration or already has one, but that will allow it to be done instantaneously directly. I have one set up here, it's for my tracking. When I track where my sources of leads come from for my email list. Next, the integration section here, these are all the tools that, for now, and Systeme.io is constantly adding more of these tools. These are the tools that have a direct integration with Systeme.io. That means it's very easy to connect them. You don't need an API key, a webhook or anything like that. You just click on connect. I've made tutorials for each of these integrations here. You can find them on the YouTube channel. And in fact, if you want to connect your Zoom account, you just need to click. You will connect, you will enter your codes and your Zoom credentials inside, and your Systeme.io account will be connected to Zoom, and you will then be able to connect Zoom to your calendar within Systeme.io. For commission payments, this is when you decide to receive, your commissions. that means you want to promote Systeme.io and receive affiliate commissions. You can enter here a payment method. How do you want Systeme.io to pay you? Do you want them to pay you by bank transfer, or do you want them to pay you by PayPal? PayPal honestly is the simplest option. And then you just enter your PayPal email address and you click on Save. Here, you'll set up various communication notifications for Systeme.io. When you make a sale, when someone signs up, when there's a payment failure, and so on, it's up to you to decide how you'll receive these different notifications. For example, if there's a comment on one of my courses, or if I receive a message in a community. Here, I could choose my domain name, and then depending on that, I could either accept notifications within Systeme.io or have them sent to me by email. When I make a sale, do I get an email telling me, congratulations, you've made a sale? When there's a subscription, for example, the payment will renew. You make sales by subscription and it's the 10th of the month, and every 10th of the month the payment is due. Well, you'd send a message beforehand to notify that a payment is about to go through, etc. And the members of your workspace, you are now able to, for some time now, within Systeme.io, invite other people. They don't need to have a paid Systeme.io account. You can invite them to become part of your workspace and then grant them specific access rights. You'll send them an invitation to their email address, and once they accept that invitation, they will gain access to your Systeme.io account. This could be as an owner and editor, just to determine if they can only edit certain things or if they have total access to your Systeme.io account. So once you've looked at all that, now let's go to the CRM tab. Here in the CRM tab, you'll see the first tab, which is contact. If I click on it, I see all the contacts that are on this email list. So naturally they are blurred. I have the date on which they were created. I have the different tags that were assigned to them. The tags in fact are really how the system works with its email list. It operates with tags, so it's a single list. Everyone is mixed together inside, but it's the tags that will separate people to know how they entered your list. Are they already clients? Have they already purchased anything or not? Are they already users of your services and so on? Is there already a follow-up for them? So right inside you'll be able to manage them using tags. And on the left side here, you'll be able to sort all of your contacts using filters. You'll also be able to perform a direct search by entering an email address, a first name, a last name, or filter them by address, neighborhood, number, city, and so on. The important thing, as I was explaining to you, is that it's done by tag. You have the option to retrieve, for instance, all of the contacts that were marked with the launch kit tag. In my particular case, we're going to do that. 2.0. And then I can select everyone and decide to take an action, like enrolling them in a campaign. I could do all that manually, unsubscribe them, delete them, remove their tag, etc. I can also decide to say, right, I can combine filters and say all the people who have received a very specific tag, I could add more tags. Let's say I need to include the launch kit tag and also include the tag, I don't know, for example, text rotation. So they would absolutely need to have these two specific tags. And once they have these two tags here, I could then decide to add even more actions. I could also actually multiply the filters by saying, well, I want it to have a specific tag and I want its creation date to match a very specific date. Or I could say this, well, I want to know about his email activity. That is, I want to know since when there hasn't been any activity at all. You see, when I told you that to delete your inactive contacts, previously you had to come here to the filters and choose in the filters and say, well, all those who haven't had any activity since X, since such a date, we're going to retrieve them, we're going to delete them. That's what we had to do before, manually. Now, it can be done automatically, directly from the settings. The contact status is very interesting because here I'll be able to see all active contacts, that is those who are subscribed, who open my emails, who click on the links and so on. Those who have unsubscribed, meaning they click the button at the bottom of the email to remove themselves from the list. All those who bounced, which means the email address is either invalid or the email inbox is full, or they made a mistake, they incorrectly provided the email address. So it's also important to, well, not necessarily send messages to these people to delete them from your email list. We see I have one here. So what I can do is simply, and what's more, if it's better, it tells us exactly invalid email address. So we can easily delete the person in question. And if I continue here, I can choose to decide, well, they must have made at least one payment. So I can get everyone who's made at least one payment, or those who haven't paid yet. And I could combine, as I told you, say for example, all the people who are unsubscribed. And I could add a category saying, well, all the people who are unsubscribed and all those who, for example, haven't made any payment yet. Okay? Since I don't sell anything on this account, no payment will be set up. So I could delete all these people, I could categorize them, I could re-engage them, I could put them in a specific list to put them into a campaign and so on. And I could also choose the source and say, well, there you go, I know I want the source to come from a particular place to categorize the contacts in question. So next, when I continue on from here, I will have the tags tab. And in the tags tab, that's what will allow me to give an identity profile to clients, to contacts on my email list to say, for example, this person registered, this person signed up, this person downloaded this resource, this person bought this product. And this is the place where you create your tags. And then you'll assign these tags within your automations to your prospects on your email list. Now on this particular account, I don't have that feature available, but I would need to switch to a different account. And actually, what's also quite interesting is that you can clearly see Systeme.io allows you to view by tag the overall total sales volume. You see I'm on another account. Basically you can see the total sales volume by tag and the sales volume per contact also by tag. And so these are also interesting data points. This means it also allows you to see, for example, if you notice you have an interesting volume and it's tagged product A, you say, okay, that works well. It's also a way to identify through the tags those who are people who take action, those who perform well. Let's say for example the tag, I don't know, lead magnet A, and I see that they are the ones who generate the highest amount per sale per contact. Well, I know for a fact that these are the people who generally download that particular resource. These are individuals who consistently take action because they are the ones who have the most volume on that specific tag. So, to create a tag, it's very simple. I click on create, I choose the tag's name, and I click on save. Next, I have the pipelines. A pipeline, now I don't use it either, but it's if you're doing sales to track progress, it's simply the CRM functionality within Systeme.io. You'll be able to create a pipeline directly here. You'll be able to choose the different steps, the order of the steps. First contact, new lead, established contact, position sent, deal won, deal lost. I can delete it, I can click on save, and actually I can then go inside my pipeline and I can bring in new contacts and then move them or add an existing contact. Maybe we'll do that. That's right, because you need to have the corresponding characters. Anyway, it's not going to work. I could create a new contact. Which is gonna make it. Okay, I'll try to leave it since it's a test, of course. He doesn't like it. I don't know if there's Marcel who might be watching this. I'm well aware that it doesn't exist, but let's say he'll get on my nerves. So there you have it. It allowed me to create my test contact. Once I'm here, I can see that it's Bob Dylan. I can add notes, I can write notes to hand over to a colleague. For example, if my role is just to make the initial contacts and then we have setters and so on, they can take over from there. I can decide to send an email, I can delete or open the contact. If I send an email, I can make that decision right here. If I decide to send them an email, it will directly open the mail application and send them an email straight away. And I can, if I retrieve my contact, I can move it and say, we are in negotiation, it's a won deal, it's a lost deal, and so on. Then I can decide to sort by filter. I can create new stages in the pipeline, I can customize them, and I can edit by customizing or adding steps within the pipeline. Okay? So you can customize the new stages. Then, if I go to the calendar section, a new feature that also arrived some time ago on Systeme.io. You have the ability to directly integrate calendars for booking appointments. You have paid tools like Calendly and so on. Now, all of this functionality is built right in. You can create events, manage your bookings and handle all your availabilities. All of this is directly integrated within Systeme.io. You can easily create a brand new event. We're going to create a personalized event. We'll simply call it test. And right here I can set the duration for the event and also add a logo. I can connect, as I was telling you, my Zoom account, my Google Meet account and make sure people automatically receive the link. I can add a description, I can send out reminders and manage the availability for this event. I can absolutely customize every single detail. This before it didn't exist. And I can see if I have reservations or check its booking calendar, and I can decide on fixed availabilities by saying from this date to that date, I'm on vacation, no availability for that slot, and no appointments will be taken during those periods in question. Next, if you go to the Sites tab, there's a new feature from 2025 allowing you to create a website. And in fact, it's simply a showcase website. So they're simplifying and separating things a bit at Systeme.io. Before, nothing stopped you from using a funnel to create a showcase site. Now, they actually have a feature for a showcase site. I can select my domain and let's just call it YouTube tests. I don't know, so it doesn't get mixed up with the other email addresses I might already have. I can simply choose a template. From here I can start create it from scratch, click on save, and my website is then created. It's incredibly simple. And in fact, everything is within one single editor. Before, every time you had a page, you had to exit, you'd edit a page, you had to save, exit that page, then you go to the next page, save. Now everything is right here, all inside. And I wonder if, eventually, I don't know, but they won't put this system directly into the sales funnel editor. No idea, it's a possibility. But basically, I have my site, it works by blocks. I have my header. Here, when I'm in the header on the menu, I see I'm in the header. I can choose all the information that will appear in the header. I can delete them, I can create copies. I made a tutorial video about that. Similarly on the channel, I can create a multi-language version. I can have my showcase site. Once I can change my logo, I can decide on the menu. It's this menu actually deciding which elements I'll leave inside, etc. And then once I've edited my headers, well, I go into the core of the content, and there I can absolutely edit everything. The size, is it going to be, do I want to optimize for mobile viewing? Do I want to optimize for a large screen? Do I want to optimize for a laptop version? Okay. And I can also then optimize for the smartphone version. So then when I have something I want to modify, I simply click inside, I make my changes, and my menu will appear on the left. I'll go into a bit more detail when we're in the final section, because it's exactly the same, it works the same way. But I have the menu on the left, which then allows me to adjust the various settings and customize different parameters here. We can see that here, similarly, I have a section, I have two columns, and within this column I have three columns. And then in these columns I have images that allow me to create a nice visual. I have the buttons. In the same way I configure my buttons. The function to save, to redirect, what to do when someone registers inside. If I scroll down, there you go, I have my site, and basically I can create my site very quickly. Each time, don't forget to save when you do that. I also have the blocks. If I click here, I have the elements. This is everything I can add. I can add image elements, videos, photos, columns, and so on. I can delete them. Pause. But I also have blocks. Pause. And blocks, well, these are elements that have already been created by Systeme.io. And so that allows me to retrieve them. Now we can't place them on it, but we see that on the site we can't add any blocks. So they did give us the blocks, but we can't actually use them on this particular page. Well, there you have it. But on the tunnels that works without any problem. Maybe the header, because it's odd, I can't do it. But no, even that we can't do. Okay. Okay, it's not very clear, and it doesn't make much sense. A question I had asked Systeme.io, because some people might be wondering. On my site, this is my showcase site, I can also use this site to capture leads. You see, I have a button here. And what happens when someone clicks? Well, we can open a pop-up. In that case, I'll create a pop-up and it says, sign up for free. But what will happen when someone enters their email address and clicks here? You see, if I click on the button, we're going to save the contact and we're going to save it, you see, to a custom URL. Okay? We're not going to redirect, it will stay on my site here. And we can give them a message, congratulations, you're registered. But the point is, okay, that's fine, but if someone enters the email here, how do I save that contact? Sure, they'll be in my email list, but how do I assign them tags? How do I get them into automations, into campaigns, etc.? And looking at it that way, it's not intuitive at all. I gave Systeme.io feedback on it, we'll see if they improve it, but essentially, if someone signs up on your site, okay, so I'm gonna exit, we won't save. But if someone registers on my site, to then be able to ensure that someone who registers on my site So they received the right tag. Well then, in automation I need to click on rules. I'm going to open a new tab, because that way we won't lose our place. Then I need to have created a new automation rule, and the rule, that's going to be the registration form for the website. So it's currently available on my test site on the home page, and then I'll assign it a tag, I'll assign it a campaign, I'll enroll it, etc. No matter where, I'll send it an SMS, I'll put it in a pipeline, etc. Okay? So it's true that it's not necessarily very intuitive, especially when you know how, we'll see right after, sales funnels work. And it might seem a bit confusing to think, wait, I need to go back into automation to create my automations on my different pages. That's cool because we can differentiate the pages. I can have a home page and promise something completely random. And on the next page I can have something else, another promise perhaps. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but you'd have a different promise, and at least these would be different tags. So that's also quite interesting. So there you have it. When you're on the site, this is how it works. I can create pages in French, I can add more pages, I can also create, if I wish, within the settings. I can add languages. I can add languages versions. The advantage is that when I add languages and click validate, you see that if we go back here to the pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it will automatically create those 6 pages in the new language, and the second language will appear here. On the other hand, I will manually have to go and create the content and then translate it. It won't translate all of the content itself, but at least it will create all the necessary pages for me. So that's really what makes it interesting. So if you're looking to embark on the journey of having your website available in multiple languages, then in that case what's important is to first have a finished complete version with the correct number of pages and so on. And only then you create the other language version, so it will create the pages. You won't need to recreate the pages later. But if, let's say, I add a page in French, for instance, there's a page, I don't know, a welcome page, I'm going to add a welcome page and I validate it, automatically it will offer to duplicate it in other languages if I have other versions, other languages I've already accepted. It will automatically create the page in the other language. I then need to go and translate that page. The style, the importance here, it's great because when it comes to style, you can directly from just one tab manage the style of the entire website, okay? The typography, the themes, the colors, the type of buttons, what they look like, the links and so on. So that's really great. And then you see, I can simply go and choose to set up, every single page individually, and it operates in precisely the same way as the editor for the funnel itself. And I also have the dedicated tab for the page footer, alright? So please don't ever forget to save your progress. Don't forget to optimize for the mobile version, save your work and then exit. Next, when I continue, I have the core of Systeme.io's business, I have the sales funnels. If I come here, you see this one, we're going to delete it because it's no use, but I have my sales funnels. I can search for my different sales funnels. I can select those that are active or inactive. Let's say, depending on your plan, you're allowed 10 funnels and you need to create an 11th, you don't want to delete it, you can simply set the funnel to inactive, meaning it will always be in your database, but it won't count towards your credit rate, of funnels you can create on your Systeme.io account. So, that's cool. You can select them from there, you can search for them by name directly and create them. You can see their status and when they were created, and you can create new tunnels. When I click on create a new tunnel here, I'll be prompted to enter a name. I'll be prompted to choose the domain name and to choose the tunnel type. This is important because I won't necessarily have every single step available depending on what I'm going to be doing. The kind of funnel, is it intended to build an audience? Is it designed to sell a digital product? Is it a funnel that I'll be starting completely from scratch? Alright, it's going to be a blank slate. Is it a funnel for an automated webinar presentation?
And the currency I'm going to choose. So if I just create an audience, I click save. It's creating it for me, and the funnel is already created. Once the funnel is created, I have the 3 dots on the right that let me see to visualize how the funnel looks. Well, I haven't created it yet, so obviously there's nothing. It allows me to duplicate this funnel, and it also allows me to share it. If I click on share, it will automatically generate a link for me, and this link will be directly connected to my affiliate ID. This means that if I share it, and someone registers for Systeme.io, I will then receive affiliate commissions. It's an affiliate link too. And then I can deactivate it, as I told you, or I can go and delete it. And if I go into the settings, I can change the name, change the domain name, and change the payment methods that are authorized on this funnel. When I click on a specific tunnel, I go inside, and then I can now build my tunnel. You remember, I told you about the site. I was on the site, and I had various pages on the left. Now I'm on the tunnel, and the tunnel has multiple steps. Step 1, the capture page. Step 2, the thank you page. So I need to enter a page, edit that page, then exit the page, and then enter the second page to edit that second page. Before choosing the template here, and what's more, Systeme.io offers a truly vast number, a really huge variety of templates that are truly well suited for that purpose. You'll find so many templates. I also give out many. I put links in the description. I'm giving you a huge number of templates, some free ones, and I'm also providing premium ones with some truly amazing things. Here you'll find your various templates. Feel free to take your time to browse through them. It's always beneficial to choose a template that truly inspires you, and then of course you can modify it. Beginning with a completely blank page can be quite challenging, unless you've already got a design or model you've seen somewhere else. But otherwise it's quite complicated. That's the advantage of having templates here. Next, before we get to selecting the template, we'll see we have the tabs here, we have the settings, and the automation rules. Sorry, I'll select the template, otherwise I won't see the details. So once I've selected my template, I have the name of the temple of my step. Okay, I can make some changes right here, okay? And when I click away, it automatically saves. I have the URL, right? It's very important to customize your URL. For example, a big promise, or whatever else you might want, okay? I have my URL, which I can easily place right here. And then I can set up all the automation rules. You remember, that's exactly what I was telling you. Here, the main advantage is that I'm in my funnel. If I have a form on page number 1, and someone registers through it, then right here, I can immediately decide on the automation rules. Whereas on the main website, I would have to navigate to automation, then rules, and then create my specific rules within that section. So that's the small difference. So when I decide to add a rule, well, I don't necessarily have a form yet, but if someone signs up on the page, what actions will we have them take? We can subscribe them to a campaign, unsubscribe them from a campaign, add or remove tags, send an email, or grant access to a community. For example, I have a free community, so please do sign up. We're going to give access to a community, give access to a free training. For example, that's what I do with my launch kit training. I have a capture page, and when people sign up, automatically they get access. So I send them an email with their access details, and they give access to a members area, a training area, to download the different templates I provide, etc. So here, you make your choice. So for example, we'll be able to subscribe to a campaign. We'll choose a random campaign, as I have some here. And we'll click on save. So then my rules have been added. I can add a second rule. So this is for when someone registers on the page. I can also add a rule that applies when someone visits the page. However, regarding page visits, you need to be careful, because it doesn't quite work like that. Someone needs to register beforehand. Alright, someone needs to register beforehand for the automation of the visited page to function, because the system must capture the contact to be able to understand that this contact is in the funnel. And then, if he visits the second page of the funnel, he'll be able to associate that visit with the fact that he's already registered. So I could put the visit, for example, on this second page. Let's say I have a third page. Okay, that's a thank you page, and I have a sales page. Well, if he registers, he gets something free. I could create a second step. So, I won't go into it too much. We're gonna call it a sale, okay? But I don't want it to be too much of a payment page, let's say. There. I won't confuse you, but essentially what I could do is say, well, he registered here, so he receives his free item because we've established an automation rule. But if he visits this page, since he registered beforehand, then I could create the rule, and that rule could be, he visited this page. Okay, and I could say, well, okay, he registered, he visited this page, and I'll make him wait, I don't know, like half an hour or an hour. And after an hour, if he still hasn't, then I could say, he visited this page, we'll subscribe him to a campaign, okay? And the campaign could start only after a few hours, or for example, add a new tag to it. I'm starting to go off on too many tangents here, but we could add a tag and create a workflow anyway. And we could say, well, wait, let's wait half an hour, and after half an hour, did he actually buy it? Right? There was a new sale. And if so, for the visited page, automation does nothing. But if he hasn't bought, he downloaded, he visited, but didn't purchase, we could put him into a retargeting campaign, etc. In short, automations are incredible because we can do so much. And the big advantage is that we can do everything within the system. But I'm just going to delete this because that's not the point of it yet, okay? So, with automation rules, we can do A/B tests. That means I can have a version of my page, version A, and then create a version B. So it will copy my page identically, and in this page B, I'll modify a few elements to see which of the two converts best. And I can run tests like that regularly. Then, I'm going to get the statistics. I want to know, the number of people who visited my page, the number of people who have registered. If I have a registration form, and the conversion, that is if there are sales. Okay? So how many people visited? How many registered? And for those who registered, how many actually purchased the product? And what's my average revenue per visitor? And the total revenue for that specific sales funnel. Okay? Here, I could have all the different leads, all the people who have registered themselves inside. I could see all the sales that have been completed. So, that's the difference. These are all the registered ones. And if I have a product within the funnel, then all the sales that have been made inside this funnel, and I can retrieve all the contacts, the email addresses of those who purchased inside my funnel. I could also set up a deadline funnel. A deadline funnel, it's the possibility to create a deadline, so a very, very good marketing method to optimize sales. It's about actually creating fear, the fear of missing out, creating urgency by saying, be careful, this offer is only valid until Friday. And actually, instead of manually having to, every Friday of the month, relaunch it, I could say, create a deadline funnel, meaning you give each person a 5-day period to enter your funnel. You have an offer, and there's a promotion that lasts 5 days. Well, you can say, instead of me manually having to restart the countdown every 5 days, you create a deadline funnel. And that means that no matter if contact 1 comes in on Monday, he'll have 5 days starting from Monday. If contact 2 comes in on Wednesday, he'll have 5 days starting from Wednesday. They'll both have access to the same offers. They'll come in via the same campaigns, the same automations, but they'll each have their own deadline, and it will always be a 5-day period, assuming that's what you decided, yeah? How long until the page expires? It will always be a 5-day delay, for example, but it will always be 5 days even if I came back Monday, or if I came back Tuesday. And if I revisit the page, and it's the same email address, then Systeme will be able to understand it, and it will assign me the correct deadline, based on the date I already entered. And that is really interesting to implement and do natively, directly. There's also a software called Deadline Funnel, which exists and it costs a lot of money. You can configure it with Systeme, but it's a software that costs, I believe it's $100, I believe it's $90 or $99 per month, just to have this specific feature. Of course, it is a bit more advanced. There are many more analytics involved, but having it natively integrated into Systeme is truly fantastic. This actually allows for the creation of evergreen content and sales campaigns with a touch of scarcity, meaning a kind of pressure, not a negative one, but pressure to say, well, I have an offer, but it's time limited. And that it's automatic, it means it runs infinitely because you don't need to reset the deadline every time. Okay? You can activate it, deactivate it, choose the days, choose the funnel steps, meaning where people will be redirected once the deadline is over, etc., the exact time it should expire. So all of that is really great, you can do it all inside. Okay, if I go back to settings here, on the right, I have the option to view my page, as I mentioned, but I haven't configured it so it's pointless. I can change the template. We chose the first template, but if I do that, I lose all my notifications, and I can retrieve and select a new template. Okay, a new template. Now be careful, if you've chosen this template, you've customized it, and then you say, I don't like it, I prefer that one. You'll lose everything you had customized originally. Okay, and then I can edit the page. When I click on it, I enter my page editor, and you remember on our website, we have something that's a little bit similar but slightly modified. And here, actually, I can truly customize all the blocks, the sections, arrange them, and the elements. So on the left, I have an elements menu. These are all the elements that I can bring into my page. I can retrieve an element and place it anywhere I want. I can duplicate it, save it, or delete it. If I delete it, it's gone. If, for example, I decide to save it, this applies to everything. If I've created, for example, an entire section here and I like it, I can save it. That means this section will be in my Systeme account. And if I create a second funnel and I just want to retrieve this section, I can directly retrieve it. So that's great. I'll show you a test. We're going to do a test, so I picked this up. Okay, that's from my first page. I don't know if you remember. I'm saving. I'm pulling it out, and on my second page, we'll refer to it as page 2, but it's actually my thank you page. I wanted the exact same section, so if I go back to edit the page, and then here in the block section, that's where I'll find my personalized blocks. And you can see I have the section that I previously saved. Well, I have it right here now. I can directly move it to this spot. That saves me from having to recreate everything if I had to do it, okay? And I directly have my section placed inside. So that's pretty cool. And I can leave, we're not going to save, we don't care. And I'm going back here. So that was for this purpose. I can therefore bring these elements back. I can choose the titles, the text, and so on. If I click inside an element, I can fully customize the entire element. I have my attribution code here for the element. This is important if you're writing code. I have a lot of CSS code. I provide quite a few of them, and each time, if it's an applicable CSS code, for instance, if you want to create an animation on a button, you'll need to retrieve the specific ID every time so that the code applies precisely to that button. You have all of that right here. Within the settings, you can manage various parameters like the font, its size, and so on. Metadata, that's quite important. What will your page actually look like when you share its URL on any social media platform, right? or send it out via email, and so on. You can choose to place codes within the header, or perhaps tracking codes in the footer, or even back in the header. It's recommended to do it, but only if you truly know what you're doing. If you don't know, then don't touch it. And honestly, don't even bother with it. It's not going to make any real difference. Okay, pop-ups, same thing. I can create pop-ups, meaning I can decide that if I click on the button, it will go to the next step, or it will open a pop-up, or if I create a form, it will save a contact, or automatically redirect to a different location. And if I scroll down just a little bit, I can add, copy, or duplicate sections. I can duplicate an entire section. I can, even if I've duplicated it, I can move an entire section. I can delete an entire section. I can retrieve and then create a completely blank section. If I just come over here, and then I move over there, I have a blank section. There's absolutely nothing inside, and I can then decide to add custom columns to this particular section. I can adjust the width of the columns. I can make changes if I go into my rows here. I can decide to create shadows just inside the columns, etc. If, for example, I have all three shaded, and I don't necessarily like that, I just want it, so for example, just one, I can make it unshaded. And actually I'll need to, you see I have a row, and actually I'm going to look for just one row. This row, I'll put it inside, and this one, I'll add a shadow to it. After that, it's funnel building, but there you go, just to show you everything you can do directly inside. When you're done, each time, it's very important, don't forget to save your changes. Even if the system tells you, attention, you haven't saved, it's always good to save. And then you customize the mobile version, which is also very important, so that it's optimized for mobile. No need to remind you that most browsing is done on mobile today. Once that's done, you can click, then click on exit. One small thing I wanted to add, for example. Let's say, I have a button here, and I want to use it to create a form. I could save the contact, but I need to create a form. Right now, I don't have a form. So how do I go about creating a form? Or if I navigate here to form, you'll see I can easily add a new form field. So this form field is simply for adding an email address. We want to collect an email address. It could be done here. It could be done in a much more... Okay, I'm not spending time on it because the goal is really to show the features and not to spend time on funnel building and design, etc. But I could do it here, or I could decide that this button in fact opens a pop-up, and I could decide to have a pop-up, and my pop-up, you see, that would be the pop-up that allows us to collect the email address, etc. This pop-up, I can customize it exactly like my page. Once that's done, I click save, and I can exit. So I have my different pages. I can customize the inactive page, okay? If this funnel is inactive, I'll go back. So, this is your tunnel here, my test tunnel. If I come back to it, it's active. If I set it to inactive, this specific page will appear. And I can choose to customize this page by saying, inactive page, please visit this other location. Or I can set up a redirection. I have a CSS code that demonstrates how to perform a redirection from a Systeme.io page. I have a YouTube video. I also provide it in the free section of my launch kit. So you can also get that to set it up and have this placeholder page. Okay? Let's continue. Next, I have a creator page. Now, with Systeme.io, we sometimes don't quite know what they intended to do with this creator page because it's a feature that could be done without any problem directly from the sales funnel feature. But basically what they have done is they have made the decision to separate the ability to set up a page, a store. They refer to it as a creator page. It wasn't always called that. I don't think so. I think they're a bit lost on how to do it. They had the vision, but I think they're struggling to express it. And actually this is what it looks like. It's quite simply a vertical page that you'll typically find if you're browsing on Instagram, for example, or even TikTok. You click on a link and you'll find a link tree. And link tree, it's essentially the ability to have multiple links. It's easy to read on. It's optimized for the mobile version. Honestly, this we can do with a bit of design. We can do it without any problem in the sales funnel. But here, actually, what they've done, in a sense, it's good too, but what they've done, it just adds a step sometimes. It adds an extra step, and sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. And what they've done here is simply, well, I have my vertical page, so it's going to look like this. The advantage, however, is that I can directly, within this, decide to create products inside for people who only browse on mobile, and everything is optimized for mobile. I have mobile spacing. I have a mobile payment page. And on the other hand, for that, it's interesting if you're, I don't know, really an Instagram whiz, a TikTok pro, and you sell everything directly, everything's done on mobile. You know your audience almost exclusively uses mobile. Well, it's great because you can create a shop, collect payments directly from this space. And for that, it's really cool. So how do you do it? You could So I can go back to the digital store. What do they call it? A digital store. Now it's a creator page, but it was a digital store. I can create a creator page. I can decide the URL, language, and so on. And when it's created, actually, I can decide to have different products. I can add additional products. I must create the products beforehand. I can add a membership section. I need to create the membership section beforehand. I can modify the various parameters of my shop, the URL, and so on. And then I can change the design. No. But I can use different templates, different designs. And then, once that's done, I can go ahead and customize this page, and also customize all the links that are going to be inside. I can customize the items here. You see, I have free stuff, so that will be my very first tab. I can modify it, right here, and I can change it. And when he clicks on it, it will take him to a very specific location. All of this is directly adjustable right from the inside. So that's quite nice. You can see we can modify the order of the various elements. Okay. And if I come here, I have my product, I have the payment page. I can create a payment page directly here. Offer price, set the offer price, define the payment method, etc. All of that directly from this page. So honestly, it's not bad. They call it a digital store. We're not going to save it. It's not a big deal. And then, I don't quite remember how I do it. If I want to, I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to add a product. It could be an external link, and therefore it's... We'll do it. I don't know if it'll let me. It won't work. It's not the right URL. I can add an explore link, so I can add that, a product, or a section. The section, we're going to name it test. And there you have it. Now I've created a section. Within this section, I can then proceed to add a product, and so forth. Okay, so that's actually pretty cool if your audience is 100% certain. Personally, I don't really use it. That was just a test I had done for a tutorial video, and after that you have the blogs. And blogs, well, ultimately that's for you to decide. As for me, I'm one of those... Tell me in the comments what your thoughts are on this. I'm one of those who firmly believe that blogs are destined to eventually die out, especially with artificial intelligence writing much faster than us, which will rank blogs much faster than us, optimizing them for the search engine and so on. But you can create a blog in the Yo system. You'll click here to create, you'll be able to choose your blog's name, you have a template. I'll just quickly show you as well. And actually you can choose, we can see the preview of the blog, we can choose that. We'll just pick that one, it's not really a big deal. And actually I can have my blog created. That though is pretty cool because in one single tool you get all the features. And here, similarly, there you go, settings. I can choose everything. And when I go inside my blog, this is where I have the different articles, pages, categories. I can create categories, I can create pages. I can link my blog to my website. I can have my site, my website. I can link my sales funnels to my website just with the links, and I can also link my blog to my website. And then afterwards I can have my blog set up directly and configure each of the pages. And it's configured in exactly the same way. Alright, so these are sections, columns, rows, and various elements. I just drag and drop, then copy and paste. I can then set up all the parameters, and I can also optimize it for the mobile version. So it's very, very easy. Next, I have email marketing. So here I have an email section. Let's go take a look. I have, well, to begin with, I have the statistics. Here are the statistics for everything that I've sent, so all of my emails. And the system will assign you to a group, alright? The group, are you in the weak group, the at-risk group, and so on. In other words, have you often been reported as a spammer, or not? Do you send many emails, as I mentioned earlier, to email addresses that are not necessarily valid? So that will also affect your reputation, and they will classify you into a group. And depending on the group you are in, that will also affect your sending volume, and it will also affect the reputation of your domain name. This is what will potentially make you end up even more in spam. So it's super important to really take care of the reputation of your domain name, to make sure your email list is clean, that it's well maintained, that the people who are on your list open the emails, click on the links, and most importantly, that they unsubscribe. If they want to unsubscribe, you should let them unsubscribe and don't make things complicated for them. But basically, you'll see the emails sent, the average open rates. Well, for me, on a domain name that's barely 6 months old, because I started sending emails really late on this project, I'm at a 30% average open rate. So, honestly, it's quite alright. Of course, we could do better, we could do worse. That's up to each person. It's certain that our data is more than 100% cold on Facelace, so yeah, that's fine. And then you can actually analyze your own statistics. And you can also clearly see which emails are performing quite well, those that have a much better open rate than others, and so on. And then you get inspired by it and you say, okay, I know that these are the types, for example, of, if I look here, the one with, the 9% seeker offer, well, it's not working out too well. Not many people joined, but only 9% are in a campaign. And I have the other one next to it in the newsletter. It got 45%. Well, I tell myself, okay, that's a good open rate. I could take a screenshot of that. I say, well, there you go. These are the open rates that worked best. Give it to an artificial intelligence and tell it, well, there you go. Help me come up with what do you call them? Email subjects, email titles that look like that, because apparently they want to open them. And then help me, do things like that. So it's great to have these analytics to leverage them. Next, campaigns. So campaigns include newsletters and other campaigns. Campaigns are things that you will pre-program. Newsletters are essentially emails that you will be sending. You'll be able to program them and send them out on an occasional basis. When the data's passed, it's gone. But a campaign, it's like, okay, it's a bag. Okay, we've got a bag. I have my launch kit. I have a campaign. Inside, there are 21 emails. And every time someone enters this campaign, they will receive the full set of emails. So this one is inactive. No, it's active, but I don't use it at all. And it's inactive in the end. And actually, when someone receives a specific tag, it says, well, as soon as they have that specific tag, put them into this campaign. And they'll get email 1 on day 1, email 2 on day 2, email 3 on day 3, or a different sequence. I'm the one who added the comments. But for the first 3 days, I send 3 emails. Then an email, an email, an email, an email, and on the last day, I send 2 emails, and so on. So all of this is part of a single campaign. If I click inside, I can then proceed to personalize my email directly. I can choose the sender, the shipping URL, I can set variables, I can write my text, get a preview, save. And most importantly also, in the settings here, I can decide when, within a campaign, it's going to be sent. You see, I want this email to be sent only on Monday. That means we're on the first one. Well, at that price it's a steal, so it's the first. What I mean is, if someone were to join this campaign, let's say they register on my form on Tuesday evening. So, he's only going to get this email on Monday, because in the settings right here, I specified, I only want you to send this email on Monday at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to wait until Monday, 7 AM, to send this email. Why? Do you remember the countdown, what I told you? It's also a way to do a countdown and to say, well, there you go. I mean, it's different, okay? It's a deadline funnel. It's different, but it's also a way to do it in the sense of saying, well, there you go. I want people to... I might have a countdown that's looping, and I actually want it to be 7 days, and the offer ends on Sunday. And inside I'll add, heads up, it's Monday, heads up, it's Tuesday. So, to make sure they receive the first email on Monday, I'll set it so you only send it starting Monday. And it's fine if they wait, but it's also a strategy. So, is that good? Is that not good? Everyone has their own strategies. It's up to you to test your strategies based on your preferences, and especially what works for you, for your audience, in relation to that. So, this is directly important for that. Well then, if we continue our discussion about newsletters, these are pieces of content that you might prepare and write today, for example, and you have the flexibility to decide to send them out at a much later point in time. You can write several newsletters and schedule them for later. When you send a newsletter, I'll just duplicate it. This is the newsletter I send saying, I've just released a YouTube video, go check it out. And so, when you're writing a newsletter, you can decide to schedule it. You can decide to configure it. Here, you see the editor. It's different because I'm using 2 different types of editors. This one is more of a funnel style editor, so we have sections here and can add images, text and so on, whereas the other one is a truly classic version. It's a choice, ultimately. It's not a strategic choice at all. It was purely by chance that I decided to do this. And then I can add images, I can add text, I can add things here, directly the links and so on. And I can customize exactly the same way that I will customize my, well, almost the same way that I will customize my my different funnels, sites, blogs, etc. The different pages. So the slight difference here is that I'll actually decide who I'm sending them to. So I'll decide who to send. Am I going to send it alone? People need to be registered for more than X days to receive this. Or otherwise, only those who have a tag. And in fact, how do I, myself, function? When someone actually joins a campaign, let's just come back to this point here. When someone enters the campaign, I always know, well, approximately how long the campaign will run, more or less, right? I know it will last X days, for example, 21 emails, 21 days, let's say. Well, I know it's going to last 21 days, for example, or maybe 10 days, and I'll send 2 emails a day. I'm not sure. And as long as they're inside this, they won't have the newsletter tag. There's an automation, a specific rule, a workflow that states, attention, as soon as someone enters this campaign, we remove their newsletter tag. The newsletter tag is directly applied to the contact the moment they sign up through a form. But as soon as they enter a campaign, I remove that newsletter tag for the entire duration of a campaign. And once they've finished a campaign, they are then removed from it. All of this is handled within the workflow. And once they exit the campaign, I then reassign the newsletter tag to them. This means that if a person is currently active within a campaign, I do not wish to send them a second email. That might have nothing to do with the campaign he's in. Perhaps the campaign he's in is promoting a specific offer, so it's pointless to send him a newsletter saying, hey, I have a new YouTube video. Okay? So at least I leave him alone. And once he's out of the campaign, he gets the newsletter tag back. And so, that way, I make sure to only send to newsletter tags and not bother with excluding 50 tags, and maybe forgetting one and creating an overcomplicated system that's really hard to manage. So that's a way of doing things. When you have a system like I/O, for example, because I used ActiveCampaign before. An ActiveCampaign is about lists. So you move people in and out of lists. And on the I/O system, it's a list, but it's the tags. So it needed a bit of getting used to. It's the tags that manage that. So this is directly from the newsletters. So I could very well set up, let's say, a funnel. Today is Tuesday, and I have an offer. And the offer is going to expire. It's a limited time offer, it's going to expire on Wednesday. Because it's Black Friday, for example. And so instead of just setting up a single campaign, I could, for instance, prepare 5 separate emails to go out until Sunday, and then I could send them out one each day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and so on. That's also a perfectly valid approach. If I want to create a quick offer without necessarily building something evergreen and complicated, then SMS, Systeme, they now integrate with Twilio. If I show you here, when you create a campaign, you'll connect a Twilio account. Twilio is an English software, in English, for the North American market that allows you to send email campaigns for SMS to which you can connect your account. Systeme, it integrates directly with Twilio, you'll be able to connect your account. I've created a tutorial on the account connection. You can connect your account. Then you'll create SMS messages. I've also created a tutorial on how to create all that, etc. It's on the YouTube channel. You create your text message and then you simply click on save. And after that, in the pipelines, you'll be able to create automations. Collect your clients' phone numbers from forms, create automations, and launch SMS campaigns directly from Systeme.io. That's not a feature I use at all. I personally detest, as a general user, SMS marketing, but also as a specific customer or client, SMS marketing. So it's absolutely not something that I do myself. And most importantly, I don't have any digital products that I sell on that particular page, but it is something that is directly possible from this Systeme.io. Next, regarding automation rules, there are 2 ways to approach this. You have workflows and you have rules. We're going to click on workflow initially. A workflow is quite simply, I believe there was one here, wasn't there? No. A workflow is quite simply, well, just imagine if we take enter in the sequence, for example. A workflow is quite simply something that will actually provide automation instructions for your contact once they have fulfilled certain specific conditions. For example, when someone receives the tag, there, SEO, box, lead, well, I'm going to make them wait 2 minutes and we're going to ask the question, did he buy the product or not? If he bought it, we won't let him enter the campaign. But if he didn't, if he bought it, he doesn't enter the campaign, he leaves. If he hasn't bought, in that case, do you remember what I told you? I remove his newsletter tag because I won't send him another newsletter, but I'll enroll him in a campaign. The campaign lasts 7 days. So for 7 days, he won't get any emails other than the campaigns. At the end of 7 days, I'll remove him from the campaign and I'll assign him the newsletter tag. Then I'll remove the other tag. That's mainly to avoid duplications. I'll just remove one tag. And in fact, all of this is automatic. It does it automatically. So I can decide to add a step in the middle, to the left, over there. I'm not going to modify that one because it's running. So I can have actions, I can set up decisions, I can also add delays. Decisions mean, if it has this, then in that case do this. If it has the tag, do this. If it doesn't have the tag, do this, and so on. I can add actions. Upon reaching this step, add a tag, grant access to a training course, delete it, remove it, give them access to a community, and so on. All of that from a single workflow. So, you see, essentially, how it works for me, it's a prospect. We put them into an automated sequence to sell via email, if so. For example, so I have one, you see, I've got one of those, it enters the sequence. and I have another one, he'll be removed from the sequence. And the other, if they become a buyer, then we'll unsubscribe them from the sequence. Okay? This way, even if they buy today, they won't stay on the sequence. If it's a 7-day sequence and they bought on day 2, they won't get emails trying to make them buy something they've already purchased. So, sequences can be very simple like that. You really don't need to overthink it. And then, under rules, these are the rules you'll be able to create. So either within your sales funnel steps, you remember. Or alternatively here, you'll find all the rules you've already created. You can sort them by, filter them by various criteria, or you can directly create your rules here, instead of creating them within the sales funnel. You can create it, and then assign it to a funnel. For instance, we'll add a tag. No, for example, please excuse me, the trigger is going to be, he signed up on a page. I'm going to go and find my specific page. Alright, I have my test page, for example, right here. That's perfect. On the first page, he signed up for the form on that page. Instead of creating it directly in the funnel, I'll create it here and we'll send him an email. And we'll send him the resource he requested. For example, I promised him a free PDF. We'll send him the resource. I could do that either here, or I could do it directly when I come back here, click, and then create automation rules. Alright, so this is located here. Next, for the resources, we have a physical product. A physical product, I don't use it myself. I wouldn't want to tell you anything wrong. Honestly, you just fill out the form, the name of your product, the description of your product, the size, the tax, the currency, the euro, the product's weight, the stock type, etc. The various kinds of images. I personally don't make use of it. I believe that if you want to sell, to do e-commerce, and Systeme, it's perhaps not the best platform for that purpose. I think there's an excellent platform for all things digital products. But for physical products, e-commerce, honestly, I've never tested it and I don't hear anyone testing this feature, so I really don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think it's the most optimized version of the tool for doing these kinds of things. So, we'll quickly move past it. Next, I have promo codes. When I leave here, I click here, I can create promo codes inside my funnels. I can create a promo code tab and say, here's the deal. If you apply this code, you'll get 50% off, or 50 euros, or 10 euros, or 10%. I can choose if it's a percentage or a fixed amount. I can choose directly. I can create a code here. I can give it a name, decide on the code in question. You see, that's the word they'll have to enter the secret code, in fact, that will trigger the discount. It's going to be a fixed discount, so it's based on a cash amount, or it's going to be a percentage. The discount amount, 100%, 50%, €1, €2, 1,000 euros, the expiration date, if applicable, and the maximum quantity. For example, if you have 50 promo codes, I give them to the first 50 registrants. I give 50 euros off. And well, once those 50 have been used, the promo code will still be visible, but it will no longer be active. After that, that's super interesting when you do scarcity. The trainings, you can have the different training spaces. I have several trainings here. You click here and you'll find various training courses. You're able to create modules. Then, as I've shown you in my complimentary training, you'll have access to various CSS codes. You can also create chapters. You can transfer a chapter from one module to another, and so on. You have the ability to personalize these modules. When you open and click, you actually gain access to the very same editor used for your page, your blog, your funnel, and more. These are sections, titles, items, and rows. You can customize everything, and you can add it all directly inside. Here, in the trainings, you can see if you have training packs, that is, grouping multiple courses into one. You can see all the different students you have. All those who have signed up for your training courses. You can also grant them access, release it, or resend the email. Oh yes, that's quite interesting. If I just pick one at random, I can then decide. So, for example, he has access to this particular course, but I can choose to resend him the access email. Because sometimes he tells me, I can't find the access email anymore, etc. I can resend him the access email. I can modify access to the information. I can take away their access. I can see the number of students who are enrolled. I can create exercises and see where they stand in the progression of the exercises and so on. Then for the community, that's really great. I can create a community right inside, so I can create a training program and a community within that training. The only downside, or at least the feedback I've seen, is that there's no mobile app version. And that can be a barrier for some, but it's a great tool. I can create a name for a community. Here, I can choose a path for it, access, test, and save. Here, when I have my community, I can do absolutely everything within my community space. I can create topics, set parameters, schedule posts, view members, grant access, delete members, add members, customize the entirety of the community, and so on. I can link it directly to a training program. For that reason, what they have done regarding this feature is really cool. If I delete it from here, the files, that's really cool too. They brought together all the resources, all your files that you have ever uploaded into the Systeme.io, whether they are images, whether they are videos, VSLs, sales videos, training videos, or documents to download, everything is right here. You can find everything, you can retrieve exactly where they were placed and what type of file it is. You can upload, delete, and download. Before, it was a hassle. You had a video in a member area, you wanted to retrieve it, but you didn't quite know how to get it, etc. Today, you just go here, you download your file. It's really simple, it's really easy. Then you have the sales tab, you have your orders. So that's for the e-commerce version, okay? You have all your transactions, all the sales you've already made will appear here. As I told you on this profile, I don't have any sales, but I'd have to go to another profile to show you. All subscriptions, if you sell subscription sales, all those subscribed to your subscription offers, they will appear here. You'll be able to send them a link, send a link for them to update their payment method, delete the subscription, or pause it, etc. Affiliate invoices. This is if you have an affiliate program and you let affiliates sell your products and you owe them commissions. The invoices you owe will appear here, and the invoices are already issued. You can print them and you can pay directly. Afterwards, you need to ask them for their payment method, but pay your affiliates here. This allows you to manage your affiliates, and this is your own affiliate program. For your own offers, you have all your funnels, and you can decide the commission percentage, the payment terms, the total sales made, the number of contacts generated, the amount of commissions you owe, etc. All of that right here, and you can, as I said at the start, in the settings, set the program, your affiliate program settings, and then there's the help page, but we also have this little AI tool that's here to help you out. And if you're still unsure, you can also browse my YouTube channel. I have tons of tutorials, and I post them all the time. If you even have a tutorial you'd like to see that I haven't made, send me a message in the comments, and I'll create that tutorial for you. Well, it's a really great platform. I've personally been using it for many years now. There are better ones and there are worse ones. That's really just a matter of personal taste. The best thing to do is to try it out yourself. You can test it out for free. You can even I'll give you a multitude of bonuses if you upgrade to a paid plan. I put all the details in the description. Thanks for watching until the very end. And let me know if you use the platform or not, what your opinion is of this video. And then I'll talk to you in the next one.